So I've been working on some simple shaders this last week or so. I've just been playing with some this morning. So the first one I'm going to show you is this rim highlighting thing. The reason why rim highlighting is kind of useful is that it helps to bring out the edges of especially curved objects. So it kind of makes the object pop out from the scene. Some depth buffering issues there. So if you look at the actual rim highlight here, you can switch it on and off. This controls the intensity, and then this controls the sort of grazing angle. Obviously you can go a bit too far, and then this is the sort of inner angle. So you can control how much sort of inner glow there is. It's usually best to sort of leave the end fairly high off. What it does is it just gives you that sort of nice bit of pulling out of the character. Some weird depth issues going on there. Anyway, so the other main one is this one. And it's kind of the start of a cloaking effect I've been playing around with. The idea is that this should actually be a sort of refraction shader. What that means is that the background will just be slightly refracted, so that it looks as though you're looking through somebody. Right now it's kind of this weird environment map thing that's not quite right either. And then so that's original output, and then essentially what I do is I take a couple of passes of noise and threshold those. So where a particular threshold exists, I essentially either in this version I emit what was already being generated for the sort of environment map pass, but you could also sort of do I'll show you a quick change to that. Wrong shader, pass 0. Yeah, so instead of that I could just discard the fragment. What you get is this kind of fragment discarding kind of thing. The discard just doesn't look very good, does it? 'Cause you really need to go to sort of a glass refract shader rather than just discarding the fragment. Of course these shaders are kind of still fairly expensive and silly right now. I haven't optimized them at all. But it's fun to play around with the different shaders and just see what you can come up with. I quite like the sort of rim lighting thing. I think that brings out the model reasonably nicely. And of course you can do things like changing the scale. There's actually a couple of summed noise passes here. I'll just switch off that automation. So what you can see is that there's the first pass, essentially there's a threshold value, and then beyond the threshold there's kind of an edge mask that gives it that little bit of I've been trying to sort of make a nice little glow around the edge. Not quite sort of happy with it yet, but still. And the idea is that you should be able to transition reasonably easy with it. So if I take the scale down quite a lot, what you should get is this kind of, see there's far too much noise in that pattern there. So let's just raise the scale again a little. Take up the edge noise a little. It's a lot nicer. I'm still not sure I like the kind of edge effect. I think there should be something better I can do with that. So like what I've essentially got is two summed, the same noise texture summed twice at different frequencies, and then added together. The idea being that one is sampled at a sort of higher frequency, so you should get some more noise in the edges where the yellow bits are. But honestly, I'm not sure I'm really liking this effect too much. You can just stick a cosine parameter input variable on it just to test things out. This model is just one of the stock models that comes with Render Monkey. I've done an ambient occlusion texture and then multiplied that with the diffuse colour texture, which is basically just kind of a dark greyish blacky thing, and then multiplied these with base colours and stuff. Typical sort of specularity thing. So there you see it really. It's not brilliant. But it does work.